Alright, we're sharing with the gang members. We're right back with another video reaction. This time we're gonna be checking out, I guess, a clip from Brilliant Idiots podcast. That's something that I rock with. Something that I kind of stumbled upon. I didn't even know it existed. It's been in existence for years at this point. They say they got like 300 episodes or something like that. Anyway, it's a fire little podcast with Andrew Schultz and that boy Charlamagne. In this particular one, apparently they got Russ and he's saying that pop needs urban music. So we're about to get into that, see what that's about. If you ain't already subscribed to the channel, subscribe and join the gang. You know, we got more content always on the way. More heat. Y'all can comment, let us know what else y'all want us to react to, so y'all could be like, you know what I'm saying, more in tune to what we're reacting to, because there'll be something that's suggested by you personally or whatever. Like, so always feel free to drop, you know, some gems in the comments and let us know like what else we should be reacting to. Like the video if y'all liking it, and let's get into it, see what they're talking about on here.
Well, Sicilian,
I mean, Sicilian.
It's so stupid, it's positively brilliant.
At the end of the day, bro, I'm in hip hop. I'm a white guy, and I'm talking a whole lot of
shit.
Are you
white? I didn't know you was white, bro.
Yeah, well,
I found out you were white at the end of 2019.
Sicilian.
That's what I am.
You're the blackest white. I agree.
Well, Sicilian,
I mean,
Italians are off-white, though.
But this is the off-white of off-whites.
Italians don't even like to be called white.
Bro, but the Sicilian...
Brilliant Idiots, like one statement will be made, like you'll think that they about to be on topics the whole time. And one thing will be mentioned, and they'll just stop it there, and like the whole show becomes about that. Like, you know. Let's bring it back and see what they're saying.
I didn't know you was white, bro.
Yeah, well,
I found out you was white at the end of 2019.
Sicilian.
That's what I am.
You're the blackest white. I agree.
Well, Sicilian,
I mean,
Italians are off-white, though.
But this is the off-white of off-whites.
Italians don't even like to be called white.
Bro, but the Sicilians, they got a little black in them. Well, if you go back to the Moors and... The Moors were out there, not asking permission. Yeah. That's a real, like, that's... When you do the ancestry on it, it's like the Moors came to Sicily, took over. That's why Italians went from blonde hair, blue eyes to dark hair, dark eyes.
But the perception, I get what you're saying.
But
white guy, long hair.
And that's what it is. And so I understand. It's like, yo, like, let's just call it what it is. Culture is a euphemism for black. Urban is a euphemism for black. So when you have a white guy coming into the culture, a black space, trying to speak on black things, it's like, bro, shut up. You might be right, but we don't want to hear it from you, which I absolutely understand and I get. So that's why
I've seen you post that I've commented on, like, yeah, I'm glad Russ did that. I can't remember the exact post what it was. It was something about everybody should say the N-word or something. No, shut up. It's about white artists. Yeah, Nigerian. That's what. Yeah, white artists and culture. It was something. I can't remember exactly what it was. Everybody gave you props for that, though. Probably about how I was talking about just label owners are these white guys that's what it was, who sign black kids that they wouldn't even want their kids hanging out with, but they just do it to make the money, which is true. And that's why it's like, you know, white people historically steal from black culture. Right. That's a fact. So America was founded off of terrorism and thief. Like, so it's like I mean, that's all cultures, right? I don't think there's any culture that was. Well, no, but you gotta look at the Roman Empire, right? They didn't do that. But you gotta look at even how what the 2020 white.
Shout out to Raw. Y'all could go ahead and throw a sponsorship over here. Raw with tips. Of course, the roller, that's what I'm using, the extendo roller from Raw as well. I got the little everything on the side. So Raw, holla at me, you know. saying? If y'all want me to go ahead and show off y'all products and stuff like that. Because we do use your products in the game. While we speaking on our company, may as well speak on the raw papers, you know what I'm saying? King size, like I was saying, extendable. I got the king size papers, you know what I'm saying? Does the job. I already got one rolled up. I like to have. I already got one out smoking. I like to have one rolled up. That's what we on right now. Second one. Let's get the video back on though.
Girl wants to look like.
Yeah.
She wants to look cool.
No, she wants to look black.
Well, black's defined cool.
That's what I'm
We're
saying.
attracted to cool. Like,
no, but like the problem is that the same thing that black women will get hindered from, which are just natural, beautiful black features,
it won't be accepted.
Is the same thing white people will use to sprinkle onto their whiteness to just look cooler.
100%.
And that's the problem.
I guess what I think we get lost in the idea that black people are a monolith, right? Because not all black people are going to dress the same or look the same, etc.
No.
But cool is cool regardless, right? So like if you go to Korea, you're going to see a bunch of Korean kids
dressing like black kids.
Dressing black kids doing fucking, breakdancing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Got cornrows.
Breakdancing.
So it's like, oh, that's the cool culture. That's what we're drawn to.
I think
doing fucking, breakdancing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Got cornrows. So regardless, right? So like if you go to Korea, you're going to see a bunch of Korean kids
dressing like black kids.
Dressing black kids doing fucking, breakdancing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Got cornrows. So it's like, oh, that's the cool culture. That's what we're drawn to.
I think
you know what I mean?
think now I'm probably speaking a little bit out of turn, but I don't think black people have a problem with y'all doing that. I think it's more about they have a problem with if y'all are doing that and being accepted, then why when we do that we get chastised for that.
I think that's part of it. Also, not wanting people to revise history.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this was the genesis of this culture. This was the genesis of this music. It was rooted in blackness. And a lot of times we all know they like to rewrite history.
And that's what it is. And that's why it's like I understand that, you know, and that when I said like historically white people steal from black culture, like when you look at hip hop was, you know, for us by us. It was black created and black owned, and it was created for black people. And so when you have somebody white coming into it, it's kind of like, here we go again, you know? And so I understand that it's delicate, and it's and if you're white in hip hop, you have to contribute to black culture in some sort of fashion. Otherwise, you are simply repeating history by coming in to black culture, using that as a medium to steal and profit for self.
Yeah, I think it's like anything else. You just gotta point where the originators, point where your inspiration.
Agree what everybody else agreed to is that basically we have an issue with white people coming into the culture and all that stuff. I don't look at it like that. I feel like there are people who are black and who are white, like in the culture and all that stuff. And regardless of which side you're on, your agenda is what's really important or whatever. There are black people that's trying to steal like from the game more than like the white people that's trying to steal from you and all that stuff. Like they'll put you in a bad spot, like, you know, before somebody who of a different color or whatever. So it's like it really comes down to the person or whatever. So I don't really like the wide judgment on people like that they try to do. Either way, I still see where they come from or whatever. But that's just my stance on it.
Came from like your inspiration came from this black artist, that black artist. It's just to me, it's just like by paying homage. To be honest.
No, that's cool, but you also, I think it's also about the music. You can't come into this from the vessel of hip hop and use the clothes and the language and the music, and then go off and start doing something.
It's weird.
Are you talking about Post Malone?
No, I mean,
sounds very posty.
Nah, but I think that's a fair example because I do think it's an interesting thing to look at from that lens of where, you know, you come in with braids and golds to the point people are thinking you're mixed, and now, you know, you drink Bud Light and wear cowboy boots, which is like your music's phenomenal. I think Post Malone's music is phenomenal, but I think the caricature of how it came in compared to where it is now seems a little. It's a little interesting.
It was White Iverson.
He was white again.
Yeah, it's just
you know what I'm saying. White Iverson was his first song.
Yeah,
like,
it's just.
But he
it's
got
just
out of there.
interesting. But he makes
smart.
The thing is, he makes great music. You know, he makes great music and he's super talented. But yeah, I just think certain things like that, you know, those are fair critiques as far as like, yo, it feels like you came in and used hip hop because it's the coolest genre and the coolest look and aesthetic. You used it to propel yourself to the forefront, and then you reverted back to who you really were. You know, which
and shit on hip hop in the process.
Yeah,
you know?
so I think that's a fair critique, but that's why I feel like for me, I just think it's going to be time as far as like, man, Russ has been putting out quality hip hop. Like I feel like I do hip hop justice. I don't make a mockery of it. I don't portray any negative stereotypes. I don't feed into it. Like I could go and post myself in the Gucci store spending $30K because even though Gucci's racist, I'm white, they're not racist to me, so I could do it. But at the same time, if I'm in hip hop culture, which is black culture, and Gucci's being racist, I can't be in the Gucci store blowing $30K.
You feel responsibility
I do,
to the black
because
culture,
otherwise it's just like, oh, so you get to eat off of hip hop culture, but when someone is being disrespectful towards it, you're like, no, that they're not being disrespectful towards me. I'm white.
Yeah, so even when you see other black artists still wearing Gucci and stuff, you'll still say, nope, I'm not gonna do it.
I can't because then it just looks like it's all pros and no cons for you. You know, so I just think you got to just be aware of what's going on. I just feel like I do hip hop justice by speaking about the ownership of what needs to happen, because I also think that the solution to young, disadvantaged black kids getting taken advantage of by white label owners.
Lack of information.
Is lack of information, and the solution is ownership. The solution is owning your music, putting it out, the internet, having your fans, shooting the videos, going on tour. Like, you don't have to deal with them, but the solution is ownership. So I just think that I do hip hop justice. I have a message, like, and I've said it before, like, y'all talk about, you know, which is fine, spending $13,000 in the Gucci store. I brag about 13,000 hard tickets. And I feel like if that makes me arrogant, then I suggest you move the goalposts. Because why is $13,000 in a Gucci store towards a company who doesn't like black people? Why is that received so much better than somebody saying you should be bragging about selling 13,000 tickets?
Do you guys think in the future, like, rap music will just become so synonymous with American culture that someone like you won't feel like an outsider in it, in the same way that, like,
I think it's there now.
Basketball is so synonymous with American culture?
Like, I don't think it's a bad thing to feel like an outsider. I think that's white people's problem. Here's the problem with white people.
Right.
Like, everything, white people are included in everything. Hip-hop's the one thing to feel like an outsider. I think that's white people's problem. Here's the problem with white people.
Right.
Like, everything, white people are included in everything. Hip-hop's the one thing, and saying the N-word is the thing that they're not included in, and they feel just, like, disgusted
Stupid
and
hill to
offended.
die on.
And it's like, it's like, yo, for once, you know what? Yeah, this isn't for you. It's not by you. And that's what it is. And it's okay to feel like an outsider. Like, minorities have been the outsider to everything forever. So, you know what? If hip-hop is the one thing where white people are the outsiders in, I don't know if that balance should shift. I'm fine with being the outsider. I just want to contribute in a positive way. And I do want my credit for contributing in a positive way. Now, I would understand, right, if I came into this face tatted, rock, like, wearing the hip-hop costume, braid, you know, face tatted, and I'm talking about this type of shit, and I'm doing this, just, you know, if I was on that type of aesthetic, but I'm not a gimmick. I'm not making a mockery of hip-hop or black culture. I'm trying to do it justice by, you know, staying true to the message of hip-hop, which I think is underdog and freedom and ownership. And I just think that you know, I'm cool with being an outsider as long as it's acknowledged that I am trying to help.
If you won a Grammy, say it was in the best, what is it, hip hop rap category, whatever.
Yeah.
If you wanted the one Tyler won, would you be upset?
No, because I feel like the music that I make is hip hop music.
Yeah. Did you see what Tyler said?
I do, but Tyler's spot on. And
Okay, talk to me.
I've always said too that I just said it this interview too that culture and urban is a euphemism. So that like white corporate people, when you go to the label meetings and it's all these white guys who play softball on Sundays and they're like, you know, our urban department, it's like, say what you really mean, you know. Urban is just another word.
I think they used to, and then people were like, "Stop saying that."
So like, well, we gotta think of something.
The dude always be on them low key type of joke. Anyway, shout out to the gang members, everybody who been rocking with us, man. Appreciate y'all. Everybody who new to the channel, y'all need to subscribe. Help us grow, man. We started off as a small channel. Only a few months ago, and at this point, like, you know what I'm saying, like, we still a small channel. I'm still gonna consider this a small channel compared to a lot of the, you know, other channels out there and all that stuff. I'm still be on my humble thing, but I mean, we are growing pretty fast or whatever, and I appreciate everybody who's been helping us grow. Everybody who new subscribes to the channel. Y'all gonna get all the brand new content that is coming out, brand new heat. Like I was saying before, comment, let us know what other type of videos y'all want us to react to, because nigga always got their ears to the streets trying to see what's next, like, you know what I'm saying? Keep fucking with the guap game.